In a study led by the NYU Center for Genomics and Systems Biology, researchers studied the historical journey and migration routes of rice. With the study, it was understood that the global cooling event of 4,200 years ago had an impact on the spread of rice. A team of international researchers believes that a major global cooling event that occurred 4,200 years ago might have led to the emergence of new rice varieties and the spread of rice both in northern and southern Asia. The research, led by the NYU Center for Genomics and Systems Biology and published in Nature Plants, uses a versatile approach to reconstruct rice history and monitor its migration throughout Asia. Gene sequences of over 1,400 rice varieties were used. Rice, one of the most important agricultural products in the world, is one of the basic foodstuffs of more than half of the global population. First to the Yangtze Valley in China 9,000 years ago, this plant, originally estimated to have been planted, later spread across East Asia, Southeast Asia and South Asia, the Middle East, Africa, Europe and America followed. In this process, rice developed and adapted to different environments, but little is known about the roads, timing and environmental forces involved in this expansion. At this point, the researchers who conducted the study, geography, archaeology and history, combined with climate data, they reconstructed the historical movement of rice over Asia, using all gene sequences of over 1,400 rice varieties, including two main Asian subspecies such as Japonica and Indica varieties. Rice cultivation was once limited to China. Accordingly, rice cultivation was largely limited to China in the first 4,000 years of history. A global cooling event, which is also known to have widespread consequences, including the collapse of civilizations, from Mesopotamia to China, also known as the 4.2K event, coincided with the Japan rice that turned into temperate and tropical varieties. Emerging species, to North China, Korea and Japan, tropical species spread to Southeast Asia. This sudden climate change forced the plants to adapt, including crops, said Rafal M. Gutaker, one of the lead authors of the research, who made statements on the subject. Our genomic data and paleoclimatological modeling by our collaborators show that the cooling event occurs at the same time as the rise of temperate Japanese growing in softer areas. This cooling event may also have led to the migration of rice farming and farmer communities to Southeast Asia. Quote, after the global cooling event, the tropical Japonica rice continued to diversify. At this point, it is estimated that rice reached the islands in Southeast Asia approximately 2,500 years ago, probably due to the large trade networks and the movement of goods and peoples in the region. On the other hand, the spread of Indica rice is relatively new and more complex. The researchers watched the India migrate from India to China 2,000 years ago after exiting India's Ganges Valley about 4,000 years ago. Considering that water is the most limiting factor in rice variety, the team later realized that temperature was the key factor. The analyses revealed that heat accumulation and temperature are highly related to genomic differences between tropical and temperate Japonica rice varieties.